Hello, my name is Trydar, and today I'm going to be showing you how to build a Greek temple of the Doric architectural order in Minecraft. Let's get started. So the first thing we will do is take a little walk around tour of the temple here to see if you want to build one. Now, if you are familiar with the Parthenon tutorial I have done, this is more a smaller and more bite-sized version of that building. It is done in the same order, of course, in the Doric architectural order, as I said. Now, there are some key differences. Firstly, because of the size of the temple, we don't have a place where you can walk amongst the columns here, but that will become apparent when we go inside in a moment here. But as you can see, we do have a 4-column wide temple by, I believe, 6 columns in depth. And up here, of course, we have the Doric entablature and a shallow roof pitch here of about 14 degrees and some decorative acroterion up here on the top of the roof as well. Now, this is going to be sort of a series of one of 3 buildings because I'm going to show you also an Ionic and a Corinthian temple, but those are going to be in their own tutorial videos because I think some of you may want to build some versions, but not the others, so I'm going to break it up a little. But underneath here, we do have a small portico that you can walk under here with your columns out front. But if we go inside the main temple area proper, we do have a complete interior in here that I will be showing you how to construct as well. And for your seating pleasure up here, we do have, of course, a throne for you to sit on. Because I assume if you're going to be building this in your own Minecraft worlds, instead of putting a statue up here, I decided to put a throne chair so you can sit inside of your very own temple. And from your throne with your burning netherrack braziers on either side, you can look at the design in here. Of course, we have a sort of a 2-tier arrangement reminiscent of the Parthenon with the larger columns down here. In a 2x2 fashion, we're using 3x3 on the exterior, and on top of that, we have some 1x1 columns as well. And a simple ceiling design finishes the entire thing off. And of course, we have a fine polished floor of obsidian and lapis blocks, but you can change the materials up a bit in here if you want to. These are just my suggested materials. You could, if you wanted to, use granite instead of the diorite here for your columns. And if you have a suitably equipped villager trading hall, you could feasibly get enough quartz to build this entire structure out of that as well. But before we start the tutorial itself, let us take a look at the bill of materials you will need to construct this fine Hellenic temple. So you will need 4,320 blocks of diorite, 13,388 blocks of cobblestone, 192 blocks of lapis for the floor, 1 stone slab for your throne chair, 406 cobblestone slabs, 184 stone brick slabs, 560 nether brick slabs, 192 blocks of obsidian, or if you don't care to collect the obsidian for the floor, you can substitute this with blackstone, I think. Polished blackstone would look good for that. You will need lots of torches, 553 cobblestone stairs, 4 blocks of netherrack for the braziers, 4,027 stone bricks, 30 chiseled stone bricks, not lodestones, 404 stone brick stairs, 18 cobblestone walls, and 1,370 blocks of red nether brick. And that is going to be for the roof up there, which we will get to presently. So the dimensions for the temple are as follows. It is 33 blocks wide that way, and 51 blocks long back this way, and 42 blocks tall. Now the 42 blocks, this goes all the way to the top of the acroterion there in the center. So to get the base of the temple, you will want to construct a cobblestone rectangle with the dimensions of 33 blocks wide, and 51 blocks long. All right, now from this point on, the tutorial is formatted in the following way. We will be building the temple from the ground up in discrete slices. The first slice was, of course, a 1 block, but each slice I show you is going to be 2 blocks taller than the previous slice. So bear that in mind as we go along. I will be showing you all the blocks to build, but not placing them all because that would take too much time. And the tutorial is designed as an instruction manual to show you everything you must do in a reasonable amount of time. So feel free to pause the video as I go along and just replicate what you see on your screen. And also remember the world will be available for download in the video description in case you want to come here and take a look at all of these things for yourself. All right, so with that out of the way, let us continue on. So we have placed the base. These 2 blocks right here, these are called the stereo bait. And this top block here, this layer here is called the stylo bait. So you want to have 3 discrete steps, and you want to have these wrap all the way around the base of the temple, because these are the stairs that let you approach from any angle. Even though the door here is only at the front, you can still approach from any angle. This is what separates Greek temples from Roman temples, by the way. The Romans would only have you approach from the front and put the temple itself on a very, very tall podium. But of course, since this is a Greek temple, we have to have the stylo baits and the stereo baits all the way around the base of the temple itself. So in here, this is the floor. As you can see, it's just a very simple checkerboard pattern of obsidian and lapis. And let me give you the measurements for that. So this building, by the way, is symmetrical around a center line. And we have a center line that goes through this section here. So what we build on this side of the center line, we mirror it on that side of the center line like that. So bear that in mind as we go through the structure, because I'm only going to be focusing on 1/2 of that with that in mind. So from this center block here, from the top block here, we want to count back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 blocks. And that will give you this block here. I think if I just zoom out here, you can fairly clearly see, without me having to count out everything, the block counts that you will have to do for this, but I suppose that I will do it anyway. So we want to go back a further 3 blocks here. And then not counting that, we want to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn the corner and go 1, 2, 3, 25 blocks to get back to that point there. And of course, this is the floor for the interior of the temple. And I think all of that is fairly self-explanatory. So we will now move on to the next phase. So as I said, we are going 2 blocks up here. We are building now the bases of the fluted columns that we will be placing all around our temple. And they are of the following design here. As you can see, I'll just break that there. So you can see we're just placing down 5 blocks of diorite, like so. Now, if you would prefer to have your columns not be fluted, but solid, you can fill in these blocks here as we go up on the columns. But I'm presenting the design with fluted Doric columns in this one here. So these are very simple to place. They are just right here at the corner, set 1 block back. And these will have an intercolumnation distance of 5 blocks in between here. And another 5 blocks here and 5 blocks here also. And that will get you to the corner, again over here at the front of the temple. I'll just show you this from the top down. And of course, the columns behind that are also set at an intercolumnation distance of also 5 blocks there, 5 here, and of course 5 over here as well. And the ones on the sides, you guessed it, 5 blocks. And then it's going to be a little bit different for this one. We then go to 6 blocks. And we are going to 6 blocks again. But back here, we are going back to 5 blocks. And of course the back is the same as the front with an intercollimation distance of 5 blocks again. So let me just recap and show you all that from the top down here so you can see the entire thing in profile. So it's only 2 sections in the middle over here and over here that you are doing a distance of 6 blocks. So bear that in mind, otherwise the distance of these will all be 5 blocks. Now behind that, you want to start putting in the cobblestone walls. First, you're going to be starting with a base foundation of stone bricks. By the way, both of these blocks here in my texture pack, these are both stone bricks. And on top of this is cobblestone, of course. It's just randomizing the textures automatically. But I think you can see how you are tying in the walls here in between the columns. And you want to make a 4-block thick wall in a total all the way around, and this should interface with the floor layer that we did in the previous phase. Let me show you that from the top down. And on the interior, we're also building out the columns itself. Let's start with actually these stone braziers over here. So let me just break this. So you can see we have a block of stone bricks and then some cobblestone walls here. And then on top of that, you're just putting upside down stone brick stairs around a block of netherrack. And you can light that. Now if you want to use a campfire instead of the netherrack, then put that block here. So we're also building the doorway, and we're doing that out of 2 blocks of chiseled stone bricks here, not lodestones, chiseled in my texture pack, chiseled stone bricks for the door frame, as you can see here. And behind that, we are putting in some diorite columns here. And here also, we have an intercollimation distance in here of 3, by the way. So we are putting in another column, skip 3 blocks, another column, 3 blocks and a column, 3 blocks and a column, and so on and so forth, all the way around the back of the room. Just place some more of those, and I think you can quite clearly see how to space all of those out on the interior from that. So let's take a look at your throne chair over here. So you're building a couple of more braziers again, same design as I just showed you a moment ago, but you have some cobblestone stairs and a small platform back here, which is going to be 3 by 5, made out of cobblestone and diorite, as you see done here. All right, I think that covers that phase in a sufficient amount of detail. So now that we have laboriously established the foundation, we can make a little bit more rapid progress. We are now building 2 blocks farther up, the same diorite for the columns all the way around the building that I showed you. You want to be building that like these here. Except looks like I neglected to knock out these blocks on both sides, so that's a small error in the reference model here. Just bear that in mind as we go. So I will start by showing you this from the top down. I think you can clearly see what we are doing here. We're just extending everything up pretty much, but there are some small differences. So on the interior here, we are stepping the walls back a little bit and decreasing them to a width of 2. And we're doing this on the outside. This cobblestone that we put in on the last phase there. On top of that, you want to put on some stone bricks all the way around. And behind that, you want to step back a block and put in cobblestone, as you see done here, for the attachments for the pilasters here to the walls. And you want to do that again in between the interior columns in just the same way as you did it on the outside. And of course, extend your interior columns up with the diorite, as you see here. Now let's take a look at the platform for your throne chair. So we put in the diorite, but on top of that, you want to put on a sort of a ledge of upside down stone brick stairs all the way around. And we want to have a total of 3 flights, 3 blocks of cobblestone stairs up to our platform here. And you start building your chair. Use that one smooth stone slab. And upside down stone brick stairs on either side of your throne chair, like so. Of course, if you have a different design for a throne chair that you particularly like to have, you can build that here instead of the one I'm providing. And out front here, there's no changes. You are just extending up all of your columns like you see done here. All right, I think we can go on to the next phase. So you are extending all your columns up again, 2 more blocks, same pattern all the way around. Over here, we are finishing off the doorway. So this is going up for a total of 6 blocks, and then we have a lintel over the door frame here. Done like so. Now, if you have an automatic doorway that you can somehow fit in this small space in here, I think it's probably too thin for that. But if you do have something you want to put in there, you can feel free to do so. On the exterior here, we are putting on another layer of cobblestone and more stone bricks. And that's pretty much going to be a rule, I think, for the building as we go up. For every 1 layer of stone bricks, we're going to be putting on 2 layers of cobble, which means on top of this here, it should be 2 more layers of cobble and then 1 more layer of stone bricks there. I'll just show you the back here. All right, now let's take a look at the inside. The inside is very simple also. You're doing the same thing with the cobble and the stone bricks and extending up 2 more blocks your pillars all the way around your room. We also finished the throne chair at this stage with a couple of cobblestone walls and a stair and a block of diorite, like you see down here. And of course, a little torch at the back for some lighting. I think if you are building this in survival, you will need more torches than I am providing. So that's why I didn't give you a number for those. So let's move on to the next phase. So 2 blocks farther up with your columns all the way around the building. You are doing the banding and the layering, which I described with the cobblestone and the stone bricks. As you see done here on the interior. Well, let's talk about the doorway a little bit. We're almost done with this. So on top of our lintel, we are putting on a small design here of upside down stone brick stairs and some slabs to form a little triangular pediment, which is a smaller version of what we are putting on the roof when we get to that, and a couple of blocks of diorite behind that. And on the interior here, we are doing an even smaller version because our columns sort of get in the way on either side there. And you can see what we're doing in here with the walls and the columns. That's standard stuff. Of course, the throne chair is finished, so we can move on to the next phase. And I think we can go quickly on some of these phases, actually, because you're just doing 2 more blocks straight up with diorite, as you have done from the bottom there. On the sides here, you are continuing the 1 to 2 banding and layering of the stone bricks and the cobblestone. On the exterior here, we're finishing off this little pediment I just talked about with the 1 more slab of stone bricks there, and on the interior here as well. And I think you can see what we are doing for the interior here also. So I'll just give you a good top-down view of that. And we will move on to the next phase. So the exterior, no changes there. Everything I just said about extending things up. Do that again. And on the interior here, we do have some small changes. We are starting to put on the Doric capitals for the columns here at this level. And we are doing that with just some upside down cobblestone stairs on all of the visible faces of the columns attached to the walls, as you see done here. So I'll just show you that from the top down. All right, and we can move on. The exterior, Of course, going on the same, 2 more blocks for that. It's going to be a couple of phases and we will be finished with that. So I'll just give you a view of this from, I think, the back corner here. And we will go into the interior where we are putting on, we put on the capitals, the Doric capitals here. On top of that, we put on a block layer called the abacus, which is just made out of straight cobblestone here, like so. And we are putting an overhang on top of those of 2 blocks of cobblestone, as you see done there, all the way around the room until you get this pattern here. You want to let the abacus here overlap this lowest area of what would be the architrave of the entablature on this section here. So we will move on again. The exterior, you are extending everything up with, of course, the columns again, 2 more blocks. And you are continuing the banding of the cobblestone and stone bricks on the walls. On the interior here, things are getting a little bit more complicated. We need to put on a very simplified Doric style entablature wrapping around the interior. So I will just show you this here. What you're doing is you're putting on top of this level here, the architrave, you're putting on, as best I can replicate it mostly ends up being a bunch of triglyphs and metopes in here, as best as we can replicate them. But we're doing that with every other block. You are putting on diorite, and in between those, you're putting on an upside down cobblestone stair here, and then a slab in front of that projecting out from the diorite here. And of course, I've just hidden some torches in every other one to get some lighting details, as you see done here. So I'll just show you that from the top down. And we will move on to the next phase. So the exterior. I don't think I need to repeat myself yet again for all of this out here. So I'll just move straight on to the interior, where we are putting on top of what we did, we are putting a layer of stone bricks all the way around, even with the projecting cobblestone slabs all the way around the room. But we want cobblestone behind here and then a forward band of stone bricks all the way around that, because behind those we're putting on a small ambulatory up here that I suppose if you want to try and get a ladder up here or something, you could probably walk around. But it's mostly just for ornamentation. So we are putting on more columns, and we are no longer using the 2x2. We're reducing this to a 1x1, the very smallest column we can make in Minecraft. Well, you know, pretty much, not counting the walls and fences. But out of whole blocks, we are putting on diorite here with an intercolumnation distance of 2 blocks. Now I'll just show you this from the top down. I think you can very quickly and clearly see how to do that phase there. All right, let us move on to the exterior of the next phase. So we are putting on the Doric capitals and the abacus layer for the Doric columns on the outside here, and we are doing that with upside down cobblestone stairs all the way around that, and then on top of that just straight cobblestone in a 5x5 pattern like so. And this goes on absolutely every column on the exterior that you have been building. So I'll just show you that from the top down, and then also from, I think, the back and the side, so we can get a good view on that. And as you can see there, of course, attached to the walls over here as well. So let's take a look at the interior. Good news, the interior is very simple. On top of all these blocks of diorite, extend everything up 2 more blocks of diorite. Like so. The whole thing from the top down, and let us move on to the next phase, where we are starting to build the entablature for the exterior of the temple. We are now finished with the columns. When we put the abacus layer on the capitals here, this finishes off the column part. And from this point, there is a layer between this and the triangular roof, and it is called the entablature. And for the Doric order, this level here, this block is going to be called the architrave. And on top of this, we will then be putting on the decorations that make it distinctly Doric. But the architrave is going to be 3 blocks wide in general, as you can see here. These are pretty much stone lintels sitting on top of the capitals of the columns, as you can clearly see done here. So just build that like so. And then on top of that, for the Doric decoration, you want to start at the corners here. And every time you have a corner here, you want to go 3 blocks of upside down stone brick stairs, and then use slabs for 3 blocks, and then 3 blocks again of stairs, and then slabs, and so on and so forth until you get to the other corner. You should have about 5 sections of those, and then go along the back here until you get to the back corner, which is of course a mirror of the front. I'll just give you a view of this here. Of course, overhangs everything by a distance of 3 blocks, as you see done here. All right, the interior is very simple by contrast at this level. 2 more blocks of diorite on top of the columns. As we go up, of course, remember we are doing the layering of the stone bricks and the cobble in here as well. That is continuing. And I think I should give you a good top-down view of this. And then we will move on to the next phase. So at this next phase here, we are finished building the architrave, and we are now building the decorative elements which make this distinctly Doric, which these being the triglyphs and the metopes, which are in here. And the 3 blocks of diorite along the sides here, these represent the triglyphs. And between there, this is as best as I can replicate it. This small of a scale, we have the metopes between those. And whenever you build the diorite sections here, these should all be lining up with that bit down there that we just built in the last phase, by the way. So I'll mark that out with the red wool here so you can clearly see that. So this is a repeating pattern, and this wraps all the way around the entablature here, along the sides and the front and the back here. So let's take a look at the interior. You're putting on 1 more block of diorite to finish off these columns, and I think these are going to be, what, 7 blocks? Well, no, that's 6, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 in total. And on top of that, you are just putting on a band of cobblestone all the way around that. And leave a little gap between that and the wall. And we will move on to the next phase. So on this, I believe it's on this phase here, we are finishing off the entablature. This block here to this block up here, this represents the levels and layers of the entablature. And at this point here, we are actually putting on the cornice of the building. That is what this section up here is called, the cornice. And you are doing that with full blocks of cobblestone and cobblestone slabs, and on top of that coming out 2 full blocks all the way around for stone bricks here. So let me just kind of show you this from the bottom and then from the side. It's just a very simple repeating pattern, as you can see, all the way around the building. Maybe the shadows over here will help a bit more with that. And then also I'll show you that from the top down. And at this point, you can start filling in all the hollow spaces behind this with cobblestone. Let me show you the interior here. So on top of the cobble, you're putting on a band of diorite. And then in front of that, you want to put on an upside down layer of stone bricks all the way around in this rectangular pattern here. And like so behind there. And there are going to be some small details I need to show you underneath here. So when we, I think a couple of phases ago, when we finished building the diorite here, you want to then put in just a simple square of cobblestone, and then fill in the central square here with stone bricks there. And I also like to hide some lighting up here as well at these levels to help illuminate that. So there's the entire porch and portico finished from this section below. So let us move on to the next phase. So as I said, we finished the entablature, and we are now building out the rest of the pediment, which is going to be the pointy triangular roof that's familiar to you. And we are doing that with this block here. This is the raking harness block. And you're doing this with upside down stone brick stairs all the way around the sides of the building like so. Overhanging one block, also with the stone bricks here. And between those, we are doing I think it's a 14-degree angle for the roof. And I have to sort of show it to you here. So this is a full block, and these are full blocks. But these below here are also full blocks. So in general, you will go from the corner, we will have another run of 4 full blocks there. But below here, you will have some stone brick slabs, then skip 2 blocks, and more slabs, and then skip 2 blocks, and then we will have more slabs over here. And the same is going to be true for these sections up there. And behind that, we have some more cobblestone done like so with the slabs and everything. Some more cobble slabs here. And behind this, we have just a plain face of diorite behind that with a couple of torches up here as well. So when we go around the corner here, things are a little bit different. We're starting the lowest layers of the roof. And we are doing that with the roof tiles up here, with some, nether brick slabs, or whichever slab of your choice. I recolored my nether brick to be black stone here, by the way, because I liked it better. And but red nether brick behind those, as you can see. And we're also doing a pattern along the sides here. Or at the front here, from this, we're going 3 blocks, and then we're putting a block of stone bricks, 3 blocks, a block of stone bricks, and so on and so forth, all the way to the back of the temple. And that should line up all the way back here, just like it did at the front. So maybe it's a little easier to see with the shadows around the front here. So this is one of those sections you just need to pause and replicate the block patterns as you see them. Like so. And above here. Take a good view below. There, so you can see all of this along here. Very good and clear. And behind this, we are now putting in just a straight sheet of cobblestone, which is because the ceiling on the interior is finished. So we need to go inside and take a look at that. So it's a little dark, but I think you can see the pattern that we have gone for. But just in case you can't for the video, we'll have a quick potion for that. So everything in here will be very apparent. On the stone brick stairs, which you should have already built, behind that, you were just doing a simple lattice work layer of diorite. And on top of that, just put a straight sheet of cobblestone up there. And I believe that this should be the roof level up here also. So let us go on to the next phase. We're in the home stretch, only a couple more left. So at this level, we are putting on, let's start at the front here. And let me point out the hole blocks with the red wool here, so you can see this design a little bit clearer that I was talking about. Like so there. And then I think I will actually knock these blocks out and just replace them with the wool instead of putting it on top of it like I usually do. So it will be a bit more clear. So I know these parts can be a little bit tricky. So like that there, so you can see what we're doing with the slope of the roof and the half slabs along here. And then below that also you are mirroring sort of the same slope with cobblestone below that also. And at the sides here, we are putting in some bases for what are going to be the ornamental acroterion on the sides here. That's what these little decorations on the corners of the temples are called here. They're called acroterion. And you are doing that with upside down cobblestone stairs and some diorite here. On top of all these blocks that you had to build in the last phase, you just want to put on top of that cobblestone stairs for ornamental details on these sides along here. And I forgot to remark on it, but as you can see, there are some cobblestone blocks on the last phase that I didn't talk about, and that's because these turn into these sort of ribs and dividers. I do this on my buildings to make the roofs look a bit more interesting, so they're not just flat. But on the top here, I think you can fairly clearly see the pattern that we're going for with the red nether brick and the half slabs to get the tile work on top of the roof here. Because as you can see, you're just alternating those and placing them in these patterns here. And the pattern was, of course, started back here as well, just every other block, as you see there. So let me give you a good face-on view of the pediment at the back and along the front here. And I filled the entire roof full solid with cobblestone, by the way. But you can be leaving this hollow if you want to save a little bit off the bill of materials for the cobblestone. So, next to last phase, we are doing a bit more on the roof. You finished the platforms for the acroterion here, and these are just very simple acroterions, by the way. You're just putting on just blocks like so, like that, and then I believe like that for those. The central blocks are going to be a bit more complicated. We're doing a platform of 3 by 3 for that one out of diorite. Of course, we finish off the pointy bit of the pediment here at the front, like so. And then behind that, you want to extend your tile work all the way up here. And behind that, we are putting on a sort of central ribbing details of full blocks and slabs and cobblestone stairs, like you see done there. And you're doing this all the way back to the back of the temple here. And of course, the back pediment is a mirror of exactly what you built at the front. All right, with that described, let us go on to the last phase. So I already talked about how to do the acroterion here on the sides. The only thing that remains is the one at the front. And on top of the cobblestone stairs that you put down again, just put on more cobblestone stairs behind that to create this sort of central ribbing effect that goes all the way back. And these sort of, these mirror these just a little bit, but there's more of them along the side there. And along the front here, we'll just sort of show you this. It's I think it's fairly easy. I don't need to explain this too much. It's just a bigger version of what we built on the sides on the back there. And of course, you build the one at the back exactly the same as the one you built at the front. And once you have done that, your Greek temple of the Doric order will be complete. So I hope you enjoy building your Greek Doric temple. As I've said, I will be doing 2 more videos. The next one will be showing you how to build a Greek temple of about this same size, but we will be doing it in the Ionic order. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.